These sort of, burnout and these sort of things don't just arrive overnight, do they? So,
They
but
really
did you
don't.
have any early warning signs that you started thinking that something was not right?
I was about 19 and for about a year where I had glandular fever. And that was the first time that I'd really been stopped in my tracks. I was in that European IT role at the time, actually, and was lucky that, I was able to take some time off to recover, came back gradually at part-time hours. But I've always said was never fully the same from that point onwards. And the rest had been a kind of gradual decline. So after being made redundant, I was actually already studying to be a hypnotherapist at the time.
Okay.
So I fast tracked, and that's because of my own personal experience in childbirth, which is what got me onto the mindset work, which I'm sure we'll get into a bit more.
I was
But
going to say,
just
don't jump,
answer to
don't
this,
jump too far ahead. I still want
no.
to dig a little bit deeper into it. So, what were those internal feelings that you noticed things that your clarity was kind of not the same as before, and or your judgment or
Yeah,
things that were affecting your performance?
yeah, it was the tiredness, and it's something that I remember thinking, gosh, I don't remember being this tired since being pregnant in that first trimester, but also when I had the glandular fever. And it was a tiredness that was just all consuming at the time, as well as the hypnotherapy practice that I was running. I was also running a membership based women's networking and development for business. It was a territory that I operated a number of groups under. And so I was doing something I absolutely loved, and yet it would floor me just chairing a meeting
Mm.
for a couple of hours. At that point, I was also a single parent. So I just knew this isn't me to actually, one, be struggling with the brain fog, two, be so absolutely exhausted and fatigued physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I remember I used to come back from those and I'd have maybe half an hour. And I literally did just collapse onto the sofa before I had to go and then pick my son up from school. And I just thought, this isn't right. This isn't normal. I'm doing something that I really enjoy. There's no other reason that I should be feeling this way. And I think sometimes it's the really small things that make you sort of realize. And for me, I've been known as having quite a picture perfect memory. And I remember coming out of a supermarket and I couldn't find my car. I'd gone back to the
Oh my
car park.
word, that's major.
And
Uh, I was going to
yeah,
say that, like, did people realize this in your work environment around you? So on the outside, did you look perfectly capable and still able to do your job? And but inside, you were having this massive battle of what's going on with me.
absolutely. The classic plastering on the smile. I've always been a very optimistic, happy go lucky person. And so I would really dig deep and be that still outwardly. And then behind closed doors, I, would just be collapsing. And, very close friends to me knew how I was feeling. You just get on, when you're a single parent running a couple of businesses with no other support, you just
That's
do what
exactly what
needs
you
to
do.
be
You
done.
completely exhaust
Yeah.
yourself, you run into overwhelm, and then exactly what happened to you, you completely burnt out.